Cool. So we're here again for the fourth episode of our art Fireside Chat. It's virtual, really in line with the special times we're living, but it also gives us the opportunity to meet artists that are in different parts of Switzerland. And today we have Viviane. Very much looking forward to our conversation today. Viviane, where are you and how shall we start?
How shall we start? Hello, good evening, first of all. I would say let's just start with introducing ourselves a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
That sounds a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I'm with Le Visual since a while already. Actually, I signed up once through my art teacher, and I always thought it's very interesting to look at all the paintings and the picture there online. And I was wondering how good all the artists actually are. And I didn't really expect an interview with me. So thank you very much for your time and for being interested in me. Thank you.
That's lovely. Yeah. Well, I'm Lorenzo. I'm with Le Visual, and we are very excited to be able to share about artists that are on the platform with the broader public. We know that there's a lot of people that are really into arts and love to hear about the styles, the techniques, and especially the stories. And we are sure to do something that they love today by sharing yours. And with David's help, David has been the engine of this initiative. So I pass the word to you, David.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Well, small group here, but I bet lots of you will watch this on the replay. So, good evening, good morning, or whatever, wherever you are. We're all coming from very close together in Switzerland right now. I'm in Zurich. Where exactly are you, Viviane?
I'm near Liestal. It's actually close to Basel.
Right, and I think later on we'll mention. I think a few of your paintings are on show in the Basel area, and then also kind of north of Lucerne at the moment. So you're spanning this section of Switzerland quite well.
Well, you have to do something with that corona going on. I just try to put my paintings everywhere where people can see them, So yeah, I'm spreading a bit.
But I think you are a great antidote to corona in the nicest way, especially this dull time of year. I mean, let me pop a couple of your brightest pictures. Maybe they're sort of classic ones of yours, and you've asked me to show one kind of in as it appears on the wall. So I'm going to drop this one up here, and can you launch us in with what we're seeing here and how these are possibly some of your your best known sort of pieces? Is this your typical art?
I say it that way. The big one you saw on the wall, my first sea painting I ever did in such a way, and it was the biggest painting. It was like 1 meter 20 to 160.
Wow.
And when I did that, I swore to myself I will never ever do another sea painting again, because it took me so long and it was so much work. I think I need like 4 or 5 months to do it. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it was actually an order from a very good friend of mine who worked with me on the Maldives, or I worked with him better. And he actually showed me a picture and asked me, can you paint that? And I said, I don't know, let's try. And I went to my art teacher, which is Monica Biermann. She's having some paintings on your home website as well. And yeah, we went through that for a few months. And a few times I was there to give up and saying, no way, because the clouds, to paint these clouds, this is so difficult. It's really, you have to work like every centimeter through it with a sponge to get the intensity of these clouds and the colors and the different colors as well. So also that they flow into each other, you know, and actually result as a compact. And yeah, it was really difficult. And then the sea, of course, the sea is something completely different. It's a different, yeah, intensity. Water is very heavy, yeah. But
yeah, because it's a very different technique, right? Sorry to cut in there.
It is, absolutely, yeah. It is. It's really two different items, yeah. And as well, of course, two different, completely different sort of, how do you say? Well, clouds are like air, and a bit of water like steam, and water is very heavy and very tense, and yeah.
A completely different texture you're trying to convey, I guess.
Exactly.
So
it was fun at the beginning because I was just splashing and spilling and paint, but then doing the little, you know, perfect work, that was a bit more difficult. But
you prefer the freedom?
Sorry?
So you prefer to being more free than being more careful? I think a lot of artists tell us that.
Yeah, I do. As I said, I thought this was the last painting I did. But then, of course, there's a challenge as well, yeah? Because I thought, oh my God, somehow I must be able to do another set of clouds or another set of sea. So I continued with that and did a whole series of my sea paintings. And at the end, I am really proud. Also, I thought a few times, oh my God, I was just going to throw it all away and just do my splashing paintings, like, for example, my Maldivian painting.
Do you want me to pop that up? Because, and also, you mentioned the Maldives and you've mentioned a few oceanic places. Do you want to tell us a bit the story behind this? Because this is very different, but the colors, I feel, resonate in a very similar way.
It is different, yeah. Well, I've worked and lived 16 years abroad. So I was living on the sea and in the sea many hours of the day. So it really, you know, it's in my head. Loads of it is in my head. And like this Maldivian picture you just showed, it's actually very easy and it's just one layer, yeah, with different colors and with a bit of shellac and a spray, which is actually undercarriage spray for cars, yeah.
Right.
Use it a little bit. So it gives this structure. It's very funny.
So it's rust-proof, this painting.
Sorry?
This painting won't go rusty. It's kind of well protected.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a very easy and funny one to do. As I said, it was quite fast, and yeah, I loved it as well. It was funny.
But it's, am I right? It's a very different angle from the other sort of classic landscapes that you have.
It is, because you look actually from above, you see the little islands, sandbanks, and the different shapes of the colors of the water. Yeah. And,
I was going to say there's another one. I don't know if they're painted a similar time or what, because this one is Maldives, and here we have Maldives 2. I popped up for a second. If you're watching, you can see it in the gallery. And this is, I don't know, a completely different perspective and a different feel to a painting, would you say? Do they go together?
No, because Maldives 1 was made a few years ago, and this one, a friend of mine said, come on, let's do this one. Do it. I want to see how you do that. And then, well, that was another challenge. And this is complete different kind of work because it's with acrylic, thick painting, and you work as well a lot with spatula and with the roll, and yeah. It was very nice as well. I just love these colors as well. I love the blue and the green and bright colors. Yeah, so it was fun. Yeah.
But I think you've already told me a secret about your colors, because you have a favorite color that's not in these at all, right? I'm going to try and show something very different. This autumn landscape is popping up now. I think that's more recent. Am I right?
Yeah, that was made 1.5 months ago. Yeah.
And this is completely different set of colors, completely different feel. Is it?
Completely different technique as well, exactly. Well, my favorite color is orange, actually, apart from blue and green. And yeah, that was more like spilling and, you know, with a with a brush and a spatula and a spray and really wild one. And it was fun. Except the sky was, of course, a little bit detailed work again with a sponge. But
This one, I'm curious. Well, sorry if I chip in, and so I'm connecting the Maldives and this sort of explosion of colors and craziness. How can you elaborate on that? Is it still Maldives or your interpretation of it? How does it come? How does it come by?
yeah, it's still the Maldives, I think. Yeah, it is. But it's, I mean, I live now since 9 or 10 years back in Switzerland again. So I experienced all the seasons again, and I just love the colors of the autumn and the spring and all the seasons in general. Yeah. So that's why I started another series with different paintings. I've got now in a restaurant, for example, I've got a series of autumn and winter paintings, yeah. And I try to adjust sometimes a little bit to my clients I have, the seasons, the paintings to the season, or whatever they wish, of course.
So are you painting these things from what you see? I'm showing, I think this one's just called Mountain. Looking at, is that a more Swiss theme that you're seeing every day, or is it something, how do you prepare this, I guess?
That was just by accident and coincidence. It just happened, I don't know. I can't explain that one, it just came out somehow. Yeah.
Do you paint from memory? Do you paint from observation or from imagination?
Well, all the sea paintings are definitely from my memory, from my observation. As I said, I was always stunned about the different sceneries abroad, yeah, with the light and the sea and the colors of the sky as well, and how they shine in the sea, how they reflect in the sea. And it's amazing how many different paintings you've got there, or better pictures you've got in your head. And I tried to make some pictures sometimes, and I did, but somehow I could never realize what I saw with a picture, or I couldn't, you know, show someone how it is then with my paintings. So I think that's where that comes from. Also with the light, I love the light in all the different shapes, and
I'm getting very curious now to know, where did you live? I heard Maldives, but where else? Can you walk through?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm half Italian, so we've always been in Italy to see in our holidays. But then I've worked in Malta for 5 months. Then I worked in the Dominican Republic for another 7 months. 3 years in 3.5 years in the Maldives, and 10 years in Tenerife. And there I've worked as a whale watching guide on boats as well. And there I had some very interesting sea sceneries as well. Yeah, definitely.
I think from what you've said about what you've seen, let's, if I can jump in and show this incredible painting here, which I think, can you tell us a little bit more about this one? I won't tell it. Go for it.
Yeah, I painted that for a friend as well, because I know he loves whale sharks. He adores them absolutely. And it was a little of a challenge as well, I have to say. Wasn't that easy, but I loved painting it. And I wanted to bring a little contrast to show how amazing these animals are and how huge they are. I mean, I saw the first one on the water and I was like, oh my God, it's not possible. It really seemed like he's swallowing you down there, you know? And this is what I wanted to bring in this whole painting a little bit, that it really that you see it coming towards you, yeah, and the
It
background
really pops out. It's incredible.
yeah, it's really popping out. It's a bit 3D like, and the background is just, you know, casual or a bit, well, a bit boring basically, but it's just the two different
No, I think the background draws you in, and then that shark really attacks you. And I love what you've done with the kind of the almost the contrast of the colors. So it gets darker and deeper on the outside of the shark as it goes back, but then that mouth is such a kind of scary void. You know, I'm falling into it. I'm almost like got vertigo. It's like you said, so 3D. It's incredible piece.
Well, it is sometimes when you don't have, also in the Maldives, you have clouds, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And if it comes out from the deep water like this, it really seems like it's coming out of the deep, of a dark, you know, cloud. And suddenly you've got this huge animal in front of you. And this is what I wanted to show a little bit as well. It shines on the top part, and the back part is like a bit darker to show he's coming out of, wow, of the death, basically. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think your painting can be quite moody, right? There's a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of emotion in the clouds sometimes, it seems to me.
I am moody.
Do you see that? I'm going to show maybe let's prop this one. But I was going to say, do you see, I think this is quite a new one maybe. Or actually tell me, no, I've got that wrong, haven't I? Is this showing sort of feeling? So is this sunset of life? Doesn't sound too happy, or is it a
this is a painting which just came out as well. It has to do with the death of my father, because we buried him at sea. We shouldn't have had, but we did.
Oh, well done, you. Well done.
And the sky was very bright and orange and brown, and I don't know what it was. I think I didn't show it even enough in this painting, but and I saw like a kind of a bird as well. I didn't even realize I painted that. I realized this later, but I had kind of a dream as well with this bird the moment he died, and it was really fascinating. So after I painted it, I saw this bird on there. Actually, it's two little birds. Yeah, it just came out. It's funny. And this painting, I didn't want to let it go. A friend of mine came to my house and said, "Oh my God, it's amazing. Can I buy this painting?" And I said, "No, because it means something to me. You know, it's really from deep of my heart." And after a few months, I called him and said, "It's okay now. You can buy it. That's fine." Wow. And it was my first painting I sold. So yeah, it has a deep meaning to me, definitely. Yeah, and a connection as well. Yeah.
So we often say that the artist has to let their babies go, but it's really interesting closure there.
Exactly. Yeah.
And very, very personal for you, I guess. Thanks for.
Yeah, it is, and I think some of my paintings are personal. Others aren't, like the abstract ones. They are. Yeah.
And we were saying just before we started the recording, I think your father was an artist as well.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So you learned a bit from him in the early days?
Yeah, he was very talented. So I guess I've got some of his talents, thank God. But he never went public, unfortunately. Yeah. But and he didn't have the time as well. It's another generation. They were working too hard, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, but I know you do a lot to get your own art out, which maybe we'll talk about in a minute. But if your father was one influence, what other artists influence you at the moment as you're developing? You mentioned your teacher. Are there other people out there who are producing things that is an inspiration to you? Yes,
definitely. I think Daniel Hooper is a very interesting artist. It's amazing how he's playing with his colors and his also his sizes of his paintings, yeah, and how he is actually, you see, like in this picture, for example, some of the bits are very sharp and others aren't, and he's playing also with that a little bit, you know, focus on certain pieces on his painting and others not. I think it's so interesting the composition of the whole paintings is doing. Yeah.
There's a lot of layering as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And he's really doing some fine works as well with a brush. I hardly work with a brush. The only brush painting I did a little bit was with, well, when I do a wave, for example, or this, where is it there? This flower painting there, yeah.
I know that's incredible. I think I have and there's a bit of a connection there, but it's this kind of pure pointillism with the layers behind it as well. This is, can you tell us about that? Because that's very different, right?
But that should be a bit foggy. It's actually should be a bit of mist, yeah, and the whole should be a summer lawn, but still it turns a little bit into autumn from the season, you know.
Yeah.
And then in the mornings you see this little mist in these lawns, and I think it's so amazing when you see that. And that's where that came from. And this was as well a lot of work, many layers. First the grass, many levels of grass, then little fine work with the palette knife, you know, to paint the grass, especially in the foreground there. And then thousands and thousands of flowers. I thought it'll never stop, and I said enough now. But I went through it, and yeah.
So do you plan how you're going to go through those layers? I mean, you said some of this from memory, so I guess there's no photos or sketches. Do you prepare how it's going to come out?
No. No, because I do the layers and then I look at it and then I have to see, is it enough? Is it not enough? Does it need something else? Also, to get that, I learned a lot from my teacher, of course, which is a bit of a coach in the meantime. And she showed me so many techniques, and that's what I wanted as well. I did learn so many techniques through all these years with all the different paintings, and I think it's very interesting as well, very important for an artist to get through that a little bit so you can work really freely afterwards and create your own compositions.
So you're always trying out new things, new tools, new techniques.
Yes. Well, now I've went through a lot of it already, so there are not that many left.
Well, there's
my interest, yeah.
I'm curious. I think. So I was going to say there's another one behind you. I think we're seeing the bees photo, but underneath that there is
this one. This is
these are very different.
This is what's very interesting. Well, with the rubber spatula, it's like made of rubber, and I was inspired by Gerhard Richter. That's another artist painting this one, and I think it's amazing how fluent you can actually do all these little stripes. Yeah.
I mean, it almost looks like you've had water on that.
No, it's without water. It's not even a drop of water. That's the beauty of it, and that's the amazing thing about it, actually, because it can do such fine work without any water at all. Look at this. It looks like, you're right, but
so but the colors blend so gently, and this is on the right. It looks like one of your on the other side looks like one of your city series. If I've got the one of London here I can pop up, but I don't think that's London, is it? We're looking at on the wall.
I don't know if you can see it. Where are we?
Yeah, it's clear.
London is one of my favorite as well. I was inspired with the artist. I looked it up actually. Sasha Borisovich is her name. Yeah, she had a similar one, although I like mine even more.
Of course.
Be arrogant, but it turned out really better than hers, funny enough, I think. And this is just something I did out of my memory again. This is Vancouver. I think Vancouver was one of the nicest city I've seen. And I was really amazed by the city, laying in a harbor, and then seeing the mountains as well in the background.
Yes.
I thought it was really amazing. Yeah, and
Yeah,
this
you
all
look down the streets in Vancouver, don't you? And they just you're drawn to them.
yeah, exactly. And this is all made with a palette knife and with the spatula, nothing else. Yeah, I really tried to do just one painting only with that.
Right.
And
Is that fairly quick to work with? With the...
no, it needs quite some while as well, especially because it's different layers again. Yeah, you have to make some shapes and colors and shades. Yeah.
And it seems again I know so little. Forgive me for saying something ignorant, but
You know a lot.
it looks like the emotions in the clouds again. Is the feeling coming from the clouds that give you a chance to express yourself, or is this more in the contrast of the city buildings?
No, it's definitely my emotions again, I think. Yeah, definitely. I like to paint wild as well. That's why I think it's sometimes not that easy for me to be stuck in an order or in a commission or a request where you really have to go through with something, and you have to finish that painting because, yeah. But of course, it's part of the deal as well. Yeah.
But I mean, you must be very proud when you produce something like that first one that we talked about, Real Sea, with that level of detail on demand.
Definitely. And I never thought I would be able to do it, to be honest. It looks really amazing. It's huge. Yeah, it's really big and looks real. Yeah. And
your work's been on display in a number of places. I'm going to show up some pictures here. I've got a clinic, doctor's office. You mentioned a restaurant earlier as we were speaking.
Yeah.
Do you paint in a particular way for these environments, or does your painting, you feel, fit them well? Can you tell us a little?
I didn't at the beginning. I was just asking them what they like, and I took paintings I had and put them together. So I had a series of it, or painted even a few more to have a whole series to put them all in their offices or restaurants or whatever. And then with the time, it turned out people were asking, could you do this? Could you do that? Or maybe I would like a painting where there are some words written on it, some reminders. And yeah, that's going to be my next challenge, to do some like a little river background, with stones. I'm on that now. And put some words on there for the restaurant. He wants to have 3 or 4 paintings of those, which just reminders for him, like, for example, faith or belief or whatever. Yeah. And I never did that before, so that will be a funny challenge as well. It's looking forward for that. Yeah.
So this is in this kind of calm but positive atmosphere.
Exactly. Yeah.
So quite therapeutic, I guess. Like your painting sometimes has a therapeutic effect on you.
Yeah.
You're offering that to others through your art.
Yeah.
Do you have a good dialogue with people that appreciate your art? I mean, do you get to speak to people at galleries, exhibitions, or at for example, when you have commissions from people?
Oh yes, definitely, yes.
And is that something you enjoy doing, like the dialogue? Because it seems you paint, you reflect, you paint rather than plan ahead. Do you find that helps your process, or do you prefer it's all about what's in your head than the conversation?
I just think it's 2 different pair of shoes. Yeah, I've got paintings I just let go and just paint, and just what I have in my head or what is coming out. That's fair enough. And others are having the dialogue, talking to people. I'm a very social person, basically, I think. I'm also, with the painting, sometimes introverted, when I'm in my little room there.
So you paint at home?
Sorry?
Do you paint at home, as you were saying?
I paint at home, and once a week we still go to that course. We are a little group now with very advanced painters, and we have so much fun every time. It's really great, and we learn a lot from each other and have a laugh every week, and motivate each other. And I think it's really important as well, and there to have the dialogue with other artists as well, and help each other to another level, and exchange certain experiences. That's very nice as well. But of course, I also like the dialogue with the clients, and I think it's important as well to give them what they want, and to find out with the time as well what they really want, because at the beginning they're always like, you know, a bit shy, and with the time they change a bit and open up. It's nice as well. Yeah.
So are you getting better at that, getting out from them what you want, or do you think you're being more strict? You know, these are my good things, you should have one of these, or are you being more open with the client, do you think?
No, I think I'm being more open now. Yeah, definitely. Because if they tell me some wishes as well, I was, for example, creating another painting which fits to the other ones as they wanted, yeah? Or they told me something they had in their head, and I tried to reconstruct that on a painting, and yes, why not? I mean, they rent the paintings sometimes, and they buy paintings, especially this doctor's office. Every year they buy a painting from me or two. And I think it's fair enough that I get what they expect. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, maybe turning to the exhibitions, I'll put up a couple of links of where you are at the moment. But we mentioned there's an opticians even that you've been regularly exhibiting stuff yearly as well.
Yeah, that is fantastic, because it's in the middle of a town center. Okay. And it's just glass around this optician. It has, I think, four windscreens, 4 or 5, yeah. And last time I had an exhibition there, I sold like 5 or 6 paintings. And I'm going to be there again next year, yeah, before Christmas.
So we should. There are places to find you out and about, as well as on the web.
Yeah.
These links, I'm putting some links and the addresses of the restaurant, and also there's a Body Magic. This is the studio, body studio, I guess.
Well, it's a bit special actually, because Body Magic, it has on one side it is like a fitness studio, and on the other, through a little hallway, you come into a real calm atmosphere with wood and with a sauna and with a waterbed massage.
Oh wow!
It's fantastic. It's really great. Yeah, and there I've put my sea paintings. Yeah, my seascape, as we called it. And it's really nice because you lay there and then you've got the sea in front of you and the view, you know, and yeah, I think it fits very well in there. It's funny. Yeah. Okay. He loved it. Yeah. So it's great.
Right. So again, you're finding a niche there for the sort of the healthy therapeutic outlet. That must feel quite good to you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. At the optician, it was there a bit of a challenge as well, because as there are only windows, they don't have any walls. I had to have always 2 paintings on the same size, yeah, one front and one back. And of course, before, at my beginnings, I never even thought about anything like that. I just painted in all different sizes and shapes, and yeah, so that was a bit of a challenge as well. But it's interesting, and you learn with the time.
I often wonder that, just normally, do you I don't know if you stretch your own canvas or you buy canvases pre-made, but do you start with the canvas and then go to painting, or you go, oh, this one must be 20 centimeters by 70 or whatever? How does that work for an artist?
No, I buy the canvas first because I want to have it in front of me and have a look at it first and see what will be next, you know. And as I said, sometimes there are some orders or requests as well, and I know exactly what kind of size I need. So, and to be honest, I'm too lazy to do it myself, or not talented enough to put the canvas on the wood. And no, so it's fantastic. That's why we can buy them, I think. Yeah.
And this is when we were speaking to Michele last week, and he was saying he loves the big ones, and he's got paintings bigger than his house, but he can't get them out again. But in your case, is it, because you talked about sometimes it's painstaking work, but you love the end. Is a big canvas a scary challenge, or does that give you more freedom to get messy?
Exactly. I had another art platform, and they asked me to do a series with little paintings, like really tiny ones. It's because they wanted to put my paintings in a gallery in Basel, and galleries in Basel have really huge windows and small walls. So I did a whole series with about 15 little paintings. That was getting crazy because you've got all the work, exactly the same work, but just in a tiny little, shape, and you never finish. So I thought for me, it's really better to have a big one and just get going, and much more fun.
That's interesting. It's not what I would expect, but that's good to hear. And I said messy. I guess you are quite messy. It looks very physical, very tactile as you paint. Does your atelier look very neat, or?
I don't know if it is messy. I think on one side it is passionate, but of course as well, I'm a very active person. Yeah, I would say maybe hyperactive a little bit. It's my Italian part. So I do a lot with my hands and I move. That's why I love to spill and to splash and to, and to, with the spatula, to paint around. It's fun. It's really fun. And these sea paintings, as I said before, they really took a lot out of me because they're with a sponge and, and every little cloud, which is great as well. It's a complete different experience. But at the end of the day, I think, and this is what I'm on at the beginning with my new paintings, this splashing and spraying, and it's really fun as well. It's
I've shown up Mustang, one of the sea ones, because they have these wonderful names like horse names. Imagine that the waves are jumping. There's so much energy there that clearly comes from you, and you're a horse rider as well, I think.
I've got 2 horses, yes.
Yeah, the horses and the sea. What a amazing combination.
Yeah.
And so I guess before we wrap up, you should really tell us what direction you're going in next. What's as you mentioned, you're experimenting with new styles. What should we expect next? I think I've got a few paintings up here I could show, but I'm not really sure what represents the new way that you're going into. Please tell us.
Yeah, I'm changing a little bit into landscape again. Yeah. As I said, my coach or my art teacher, she's very much into landscapes and into forests. I'm not that much into forest, I have to say. I have one painting which is called Autumn. What is it called actually? Autumn. Yeah, it's a forest in the autumn. It's very nice as well. It's with a spatula.
But landscape, but that's a different one, I guess.
Yeah, sorry catching you there unannounced. But basically, yeah, I turned a bit into these landscapes again and playing with different colors, with different textures, with different techniques again. And one of them is, for example, is Wild Beach, which I did recently. And I was amazed because, as I said, my art teacher, she's really tough and she's really hard on us, when she says, no, of course you're not finished. You need another, come on, another layer, one more. And I came in with this Wild Beach. I did it at home. And I said, do I have to, oh my God, don't do anything else. It's finished. Don't touch it, go home. And I was standing there and oh my God, I think I progressed.
You cried
a little bit in my work, so I was so happy. And it was one of the pieces which was very fast, and it's nice as well, to be finished.
So these are the pieces to look out for on the site now, whether it's the visual or from your own website, I guess. And I've put up both of those site links now. But I think, sadly, I mean, there's lots of energy from you there, all those Italian hands and everything. We've really rushed through the time. I'm going to put up the links there. Lorenzo, do you want to say anything to close us out? But I must say, of course, thank you very much, Viviane, for your time, energy, and all these lovely pictures, letting us show them. But I'll hand back to Lorenzo as I post up the links.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you very much, and especially in this in the season and particular circumstances, I think learning about your art and your inspiration, where it comes from, and beautiful sceneries and the feelings that it triggers is very refreshing. And we've been very happy to share this with also our art lovers that will watch the video later on. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your interest in your time as well. Maybe we meet up in life once.
That will definitely be next.
We're so close together yet so far apart these days,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Cheers.